This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Scott Howell.
Hello, good neighbors. Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast, brought to you by the Friends and Neighbors Group of the Greater Chattanooga region. So glad to have you with us today. My name is Scott Howell, of course, and as the host just got through telling you, a lot of people ask me, what is the purpose of the Good Neighbor Podcast? Why do you do this? What's the theme? Well, our theme is we desire to bring an awareness to, the local residents who live in our communities regarding locally owned and operated businesses in the whole Chattanooga region. I often say this about the Chattanooga region. We're talking about from Cleveland to Dalton, from Jasper to Benton. There's so many communities that make up our whole region, and they're made up of small local businesses. They are the backbone of our communities. Without those small local businesses, our communities wouldn't look like the way they do now. And they really need our support. And as I say all the time, small local businesses, every one of them have a story to tell. And we here at the Good Neighbor Podcast, we just want to help them tell it loud and proud so that everyone in the area knows they're here and knows what they can offer to us. And occasionally, actually, I've only done this one time before with another business owner, but occasionally I just want to do a spotlight on somebody that I feel like has an inspirational story and is just an inspiration in general. And today she does have her own personal training business that she does, but she also teaches as a group fitness instructor at a place called The Flow in Cleveland, Tennessee. The Flow Gym is combined owners with the Grit House Gym. So if you're not familiar with one, maybe you are the other. And she does the group fitness instruction there, some of it. And but we want to welcome her with us today. One of our great neighbors, Tonya Daugherty. Daugherty. I told her I've got cousins that have a similar name, so I'm having a struggle with separating them out. But Daugherty, that's what she told me to say, Daugherty. And she is the gym trainer at The Flow, one of them. And we are so glad to have you with us today, Tonya. Thanks for being our special guest.
Oh my goodness, thanks for having me. This is a treat.
I'm so sorry for butchering your name. I've got cousins named Daugherty. Yeah. And then she told me just to say hers, Daugherty. Yeah. Daugherty. That's it. Party Daugherty. And I'm having a hard time with that. So I apologize for that, Tonya.
No problem.
But hey, if I didn't stutter or stammer or miss a word every once in a while, my name wouldn't be Scott Howell. That's for sure. So, but we are so glad to have you with us. I've been excited about this podcast because I see you all over Instagram and everything. Of course, you're always promoting The Flow and what y'all do there. Yes. And then when I talked to you one-on-one, you told me you also did personal training, that you do it at the Grit House and The Flow, but you do it that you are an independent contractor in that side of the business. Right. And so I just wanted to, get you on today and talk about you and talk about, I know Nathan thinks a lot of you, Nathan and Donnell up there at the gym, because Nathan's with you on a lot of your videos in there, and I know they're thankful for you and proud of you. And but I want to talk about you and what you do and your journey of how you got into this, into the fitness industry, you might say. And sure. But before we jump into that, would you like to share anything with us about yourself and your family?
Oh my goodness. Don't get me talking about my family, because that will be the whole podcast. An amazing husband, 3 amazing kids, and I have gained 2 daughter-in-laws from my sons. So that brings me to 5. And my oldest son, I have a granddaughter, which don't even get me started on her. She's
separate amazing podcast for that, right?
Gosh, yes, we'll do a family podcast and talk about all of them. Yes, anybody who knows me, they know all of my family because they are my heart and soul.
That's awesome.
Becoming a mom was the best thing ever for me, and my kids, my family, they're everything. So I can't. That's my number one job, always and forever, until I retire. So
that's wonderful. Yeah, that's wonderful. Family means everything. If you've got a good family, it means everything.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about, let's start off talking about what you do there because I know you want to give some kudos to what, what you do there at the Flow. So let's start off talking about that. Tell us about how you met Nathan and Donnell, how you got involved and kind of what you do there.
Absolutely. Well, okay. Don't laugh, but how I met Nathan, my youngest son, who is, takes the fitness world by storm because he's a personal trainer. He's a coach at Orange Theory. He wanted to do a bodybuilding competition. Well, Mom decided she might want to do it with him. Ooh, can you even imagine? And he was like, okay, let's do this. That's how I met Nathan, because Nathan trains people and gets them ready for bodybuilding competitions. So
okay.
I met him for the first time through that. And that's where all of these other things have come from. It was a great meeting, and it really opened up a whole different chapter in my life. When you get to, by the time you're my age, you have all these chapters that you have fulfilled in your life, but you keep writing them too. So this is just the newest chapter of my journey.
Well, so you met Nathan. How did the competition wind up?
It was amazing. I what an experience. We trained for 1 year. That's food. That's your training in the gym, and that's what Nathan does. He writes all of that for us. But doing it alongside my son was just the most amazing thing. Just watching him, I just kind of wanted to be there as his cheerleader.
Yeah.
And when we were on stage, you talking about stepping out of your comfort zone. Oh my gosh. You put on a bikini and heels, and it's like, what am I doing? But he was right there. He was my cheerleader. I was his cheerleader. And of course, Nathan and Donnell, they're right there too. And that's, it was amazing. And people always say, will you ever do it again? Absolutely not. But, but it was wonderful. We had a great time. It was kind of a test of what can I do? And yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
So did you when you were going through prep, did you experience any mood swings? I hear there's a lot of moodiness going through prep.
No, I did not. I mean, I took it seriously, but when it came to my, what they call cheat meals, I definitely could put away some pepperoni pizza. So that kept me sane.
I've heard about people that talk about going through prep and their partner would say, whew, I tell you, that was a trying time for both of us.
Oh yeah. I know. No, hopefully I didn't. I don't know. My family may say something different, but
oh, so tell us about, before is that how you actually got into fitness in itself, or did it happen before that?
No, it definitely happened before that. That's just how I met Nathan. But
yeah,
getting older, as we talked about before we came on air. Oh my goodness, you go through, and women will understand this. You go through menopause. I mean, that's just, I'm 60 years old. So I've obviously been there, done that. And your body takes on these changes that, it happens. And unless you're a woman who has gone through it, you don't understand it. And it just seems like it happens overnight. Weight comes on, hormones are going crazy and depleting. So there's all of this readjusting you have to do with your body. And I had gotten to the point where it was just like, okay, this is as good as it gets. And this is just the way it's going to be. I put on weight and my body was screaming for something, but in my mind, I just felt like there was nothing that could be done. And honestly, Scott, on a daily basis, I talk to women who are like that. I mean, my heart goes out to them because I've been there and I've done that. And as a woman going through that, you really honestly just feel, almost defeated. It's just like you just look in the mirror and go, oh, what's happening? But you feel like you can't fight it. Well, luckily I had people around me that, were like, okay, you can't do this. My son that I was talking about, he, his journey, his weight went up, but within a year's time, he lost 100 pounds because he got in the kitchen, he ate right, he did his research, he found his love for this. I mean, he now has an exercise physiology degree, his, certifications in personal training, and he has a love for this, and has helped me to have this love for this too, because he just talks straight to me. He's like, listen, you need to do something because I want you to be around. I want you to be healthy. And, when your child tells you that, it's like, okay, they do love me. They want me to stick around. And it's like, I need to do something. But as I was telling you before, I went to the doctor and my cholesterol was sky high, which I just didn't even think that would ever be a thing for me. Because I was healthy, for the most part, and just felt like I was just getting older. And that was part of it. But that was a wake up call for me, because my doctor was so high that she was like, okay, medication is your only route. I'm like, no, I've got to do something else. So my son wrote programs for me, got me in the gym. And as I was saying before, when you first go in there, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's so wonderful. I hated it. I hated every minute of it. But when you start seeing results and when you start seeing changes in your body, when you start feeling better, it is like a drug. You want more of it, and you want to keep proving to yourself, yes, I can be better. Yeah. Now, as my son pointed out to me, he's like, Mom, you're not 20 anymore, so don't worry about trying to be that. And I guess that's on my Instagram, it's Tonya Be Your Best. And I know it's, it may be corny, but
no,
that's what I preach to everybody. Be the best that you can be at whatever point you are. There's so much, as we were talking about before, there's so much noise on social media, especially in the fitness realm. Oh my goodness. I mean, you're hit with these beautiful people saying you can have these abs in 4 weeks, or you can have this butt in 6 weeks. I'm sorry, but it does not happen that way. I am not going to just, that is the biggest myth with a capital M. It does not happen that way. And for some people, it may not ever happen. It depends on your body type, where you are, your age. There's so many factors, but you can be the absolute best that you can be. And I guarantee you, you're going to feel better. And because that's what I did. I got in the kitchen and the gym. So I did the two, which is, that's your golden ticket there. You can do one or the other, and you're going to have success. But man, you're going to really have success when you concentrate on both of those. But that's what I did. And like I said, when I started seeing results, it was like a drug. And then fast forward, I was just like, I want to do this. I did work in the fitness industry in maybe the second or third chapter of my life. I know, way back when. And I loved it. I loved the vibe. I loved the people. And I was like, I want to do this again. So I started getting educated myself so I could really represent to people what they needed to hear and the proper facts about fitness and what you need to do.
Yeah. So when you worked in the industry before, were you like working in it, or were you working out back then?
Oh, I was working in it. I actually managed, I'm from Kentucky, so I managed a really large gym, which is still there. It's like 100,000 square foot gym. They're full service, beautiful gym, for almost 8 years. Okay. And I was privileged. They had over 3,000 members, and just getting to know the people and being a part of the journey. And I mean, even going back to one of the very first chapters of my life, a summer in between college years, I was like, I need to teach a fitness class. So this was kind of the jazzercise days. So
Oh yeah.
I rented me a little space, and all summer long I taught classes
Oh
and
wow.
had the
Cool.
best group of people. I mean, so I think it's always been a part of me because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love people, and I love getting to be a part of something that helps them. It's just that it's not always something that we get to do on a daily basis, but oh my gosh, it's wonderful.
So when you were younger, you were kind of already a fit person. You did things kind of in the fitness industry. Is that what we're hearing?
I did. I mean, I was
Okay.
always, even growing up and stuff, I was very athletic and loved that. Yeah.
But then there come a point in time in your life where you weren't as much.
Nope.
And then you said, of course, life happens. We get older and life happens, and you found yourself declining.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then that's when your son motivated you to kind of step it up.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
He
how many
did.
years ago was that this happened with your son, that you really got in there and started digging?
Yeah, well, we actually we moved from Kentucky to Tennessee about 3.5 years ago,
Okay.
and I had kind of started a little bit before we moved, but not very much. And of course, COVID was an issue too because COVID shut down all the gyms.
Yeah.
So that was a good excuse for me not to go. But when I got here, it was like, okay, that's not an excuse because gyms were open again. So he was really the catalyst that just said, okay, here's your programs. I'm taking all of the excuses away. You just need to do it.
Just do it.
And honestly, I was privileged that I had the time to do it at that point in my life. And I understand, believe me, my goodness, we have so many things in a week's time that take our time. And honestly, when some people say, I just don't have the time in my day to do this, they are not kidding. I mean, and I understand that. I realize that. So I realized how fortunate I was at that point that I did have the time to be able to put into it. And I was so glad that I did. And it's just, I've said this a million times, nobody ever regrets the time that they've put into helping themselves become healthier. They never say that. Nobody's ever going to say, oh, I wish I hadn't worked out. No, that's not going to happen. Because once it's over, it's like, oh my gosh, that was wonderful.
What type of classes do you teach at the Flow?
I teach several different types. I have probably one of my most popular classes is my stretch class. And it is, I call it, and I'm going to probably make some people mad because I'm combining these words. I call it like a yoga Pilates class. Yoga, Pilates, and my twist on all of that. I'm not certified to teach yoga or Pilates, but I love the movements that they have because it works on your flexibility, your mobility. Pilates is fantastic for your core. And you'll hear this when you come to my class, Scott, as you said that you would. You will hear this a lot. Your core drives everything. You work on that core section, and that's all the way around your midsection there. It drives everything. So we really concentrate on that in stretch and balance. Balance is an issue for everybody at any age. I mean, you think, oh, well, it's just older people that have balance issues. We all have balance issues.
Yeah.
So it's just a combination of all of that. I also teach a Sculpt Tone class and what I call a circuit fusion class. I have to say, the Flow and Nathan, he has been wonderful in kind of letting me take the reins on my classes and really program them for who I have coming. Sculpt Tone and Circuit Fusion are both total body workouts. So when you come, you're going to be working, and you're going to be working head to toe. It is it's faster pace. It's some cardio, much more so than stretch. So you do have to have a little bit of a fitness level, but I have so many modifications that don't let it scare you not to come. Try it, and just it's a wonderful workout. But what's so beautiful about it? Oh my gosh, I have some of the most wonderful people that come to my classes, and it's almost like a little community, and I love for people to get to know each other, because that is one of the beauties of group fitness, is the encouragement you get from everybody else who's in the class with you.
Yeah.
The energy is off the charts because it's just wonderful. You can't help but enjoy it in a good way. Sometimes it's like, this is fun. Yeah. But yeah. But
So let's talk about the personal training side of what you do. Now, of course, you told me, you're an independent contractor in that respect, that's your business. So people that you train are your clients, but yet you do it at the gym. So do they need to be a member at that gym to be able to? Okay.
Yeah. And that would be the case anywhere. I mean, wherever you work out, you would have to have a membership there. But I right now just train at Grid House, and you would have to have a Grid House membership.
Okay.
And then have a fee on top of that. But what I do, I'm there with you. I work out, we can work out 1 day a week, 3 days a week, however much you feel like you need me. My personal training clients, I love them. I love them. I love them. We have a good time. We work out hard. And what I'm there for is to, sometimes you go into the gym and it's like, what in the world do I do? There's so much equipment, there's dumbbells, and then you go online and go, well, maybe I can figure out something. And oh my gosh, there's people doing all kinds of crazy things on there. So you have to be careful, about what you do. That's where personal training is such a plus, because have somebody who comes in and says, okay, this is what we're doing. You don't even have to think about it. It's like, okay, get on here, do this, go over here, let's do this. So that's what I'm there for. I'm going to push you, because there's going to, and I love to do that. I've figured out the tells that all of my clients have, so they don't lie to me and say, oh, this is good. I'm like, no, you can do more. So I read them very well, but we have a good time, and I've seen such amazing that's what drives me too, is the results that I see coming from my clients. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. I love it, and I love them. I just that's the one-on-one, and getting to be a part. Letting them let me be a part of their journey is just an amazing thing. I feel very privileged with the clients that I have.
So without naming names, obviously, I'm not trying to get you to call anybody out, but what is one of the best success stories that you've had in your personal training career?
Well, so far, I think everybody's a success story, but I do have one young lady, and when she came to me, she came through the Grid House, and we chatted, and she's her job is very stressful. She has full family, all the responsibilities with that, and she's like, I just don't know when I can do this, but I know I've got to do something. And I'm like, yes, you definitely need to do something for yourself. I'm not going to push people on me. I want them just to get moving, however that is for them, whatever they need to do, whether it be through me, through group fitness, through somebody else. I just want to see them move. And she started, and at first it was, I paying attention to the scale. And that is that's not the best thing to do whenever you're training and whenever you start your journey. The scale is not always a good indicator of what's going on, but we do measurements and everything too. So within a year's time, she has dropped over 30 inches all over her body. She's just done this.
Wow.
And just her overall health has been better. And she just fits me in when she can, because she's so busy, and I understand that. But I'm so proud of her. It's just amazing to see that. And that's one other thing I want to say very quickly. Sometimes when people start to work out or start a diet plan or, healthy eating, it's not, just keep this in mind. It's not all or nothing. A lot of people think if I can't work out 5 days a week, then I'm not going to work out any.
Yeah.
If I can't cut all the bad food out of my diet, then I'm not going to cut anything. Start with those small changes.
Right.
If you can only if you can do 1 day a week working out, do one, and then let it go from there. If you need to cut out, Coca-Cola, and that's one thing you want to do, then do that and let that become a habit, and then move on to something else. Because I think that's what happens to a lot of people. They are like, okay, I'm making changes, I'm getting healthy, and they have all these things that they want to do. And after a week's time, it's like, I can't do all of that. And most of the time we can't do all those changes at the same time.
Yeah.
So we need to just, pick a few. It's not all or nothing. Just every little thing adds up, and it moves on to something else.
That's what I had to do when I couldn't, I was trying to do everything at once, diet and all this kind of thing. And, just try this diet and that diet, and it failed at everything I tried. And I just, one little thing, subtle thing, one little thing here, another one there. And I just started changing, and I saw the weight start dropping,
Yes.
But you're right. But, when you and I want to talk about the things you do, because I know I feel like a lot of people will be inspired from hearing your story to contact you. So when it comes to personal training, I'll tell you what, look, before I ask that, when it comes to the flow, what kind of schedule is it you have? I know you said you have, you teach different classes. What is the schedule on that?
Well, you can go to thegridhouse.com/theflow, and they have a schedule. I'm pretty much, my schedule personally is Mondays and Wednesdays. That's when I do all my classes. We start at noon. We always have a noon class of some kind, whether it be bungee or stretch or circuit fusion. So you're going to see me there Mondays and Wednesdays pretty much all day long. Then we have classes that start in the evening. Wednesdays, they start at 4:30. Mondays, they start at 5. Easy to sign up. And you always get your first class for free. So you can try it for free. A lot of people try bungee because it's fun and it's crazy. And I've done it before. I don't teach it, but because I laugh uncontrollably the whole time. So I could not teach. I would be laughing too hard. So, but that's wonderful. And hopefully you'll get to talk to Donnell soon. And she
I want to get Donnell to tell me all about that.
Yeah, and it is wonderful. It is great. But the beautiful thing about the flow is we have such a diversity of classes. And to me, whenever you're training and stuff, that's the fun thing about training and making yourself healthier is try different things, keep it fresh, keep it new. And, with the flow, we have all those different classes. I've got a couple of clients. I love them. I wish I could just duplicate them over and over again because they do it right. They come to a different class every day with the flow. That's their workout. And these girls over the last year, my goodness, the changes that I've seen in their bodies has been amazing. And that's what they do, because there's such a diversity of the classes. They're hitting everything, and they're getting cardio, and they're working on the kitchen too. So they're bringing that aspect in it too. So it's a good formula for success for sure.
If somebody felt like they wanted to contact you more for the personal training, what tends to be your schedule to work with people? Are you flexible?
I am somewhat flexible. It just depends. I normally, whenever somebody contacts me, I like to talk to them for just a minute and just make sure that I'm a good fit for them and kind of see what they want. And if I see that it's I can be helpful to them, then we just kind of work on a schedule because like I said, there's so many people, their schedules are just crazy.
Oh yeah.
So try to meet them where they are. And, there's going to come a point in time where I don't have the hours in there,
Sure.
which, that's fine. But right now,
Yeah.
morning times are wonderful. And normally that's a good time.
Yeah.
And some women, especially because I do have women. I mean, mainly it's women because I am a woman, they like for a woman to train them.
Sure.
Not
Sure.
always, but, that's kind of my lane. But they'll have afternoons because, especially once the kids get back in school, they have that downtime where they can run over there and
Right.
train stuff. So it's just a matter of just us getting together and figuring out what I can do for them.
Okay. Well, it's been amazing, hearing all about your journey and, how you came from being an athletic fit to young person. And as we age, maybe things changed and you weren't where you wanted to be, and then how you've gotten back into it. And you're now finding yourself very fit again. And as we go into old age, it's, older age, we want to be strong. We don't want to be dependent on anyone. No one wants to be dependent on somebody else. I say no one. No one, I think, that thinks logically wants to be dependent upon somebody else, to have to lift them up and, take them to the restroom or, help them get a bath. Everybody would like to be independent. But it's up to some, unless we've had some type of accident or something and disease in our lives that's happened out from under our control, it's kind of up to us to keep ourselves in that position. And so that's what you're doing, and you're inspiring others to do that. I would have never asked you to told your age on here, but I'm glad you volunteered it, because I think you don't look near your age. So I think when people realize and they hear that and they say, wow, someone at that age level, that maybe whether you are older or younger than them, they're thinking, well, she can do it, then why can't I do it? And I know I read a interview about a lady. She's in her 80s now, still very fit, still does bodybuilding competitions in her 80s. And she started around when she was 60-ish. I can't remember exactly how old she was, but that's when she started.
Yeah.
And so, it's never too late for any of us if we're physically able at all. But even if we're not, I try to encourage my parents to just do something. Pick up something, pick up a dumbbell, move, do something with it,
Absolutely.
Do something, because we can all benefit from movement.
Absolutely.
From making sure we keep moving. And I think that's what you're inspiring us here today. And I appreciate you so much being with us and agreeing to be on here. And before we sign off, I would like to ask you a question that I always ask everyone before leaving. And I'm talking, when I ask this question, I'm talking about the heart of who you are and what you do for people, your heart, not just what you do, but the heart of all of it. If there was one thing that you wish our listeners knew about Tonya Daugherty and the what you do at the Flow, what you do with the personal training, just what you do, period, to help other people in their fitness journey, but they probably wouldn't know unless you told them, and you like to just shout it loud and proud here today on the Good Neighbor podcast, what would that be?
Oh my goodness, boy, that's a question. Even as you asked me, or you're phrasing your question, I just got tears in my eyes, because I think about the people, like I said, that I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay, really.
I think about the people that have let me into their lives through this, and the stories that I get to hear through them, and working with them. And I've told several of them, because I do see, I see that, they're hit with life, and they're pulled down by life. And I just try to, I want them to know, if you could see yourself through my eyes and how wonderful of a person that you are, then hopefully you would be lifted up. So hopefully, and I don't know if this is answering your question or not, but when I'm working with people, I just want them to be able to see themselves in a different way, because we beat ourselves down every single day. I don't care what you look like, where you are, what your status is, what your job is. We beat ourselves down.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, especially women, I see it so much with women, and my heart and my arms are around them because we're all in this together. And I guess the heart of who I am is just to help them see themselves for the amazing people that they are and the amazing person that they are.
Well, I got a feeling that everyone that you come in contact with and that you're helping them in their journey feels the same way about you. I just feel sure of that, even though I haven't talked to any of them. I feel sure of that because I knew you were passionate about what you did, and we just heard that passion come out of you, and it's okay. It's okay that you teared up, that you choked up, because I think it's important for people to know this means something to you. It's not just something you do; it means something to you. And I know I'm sure that Nathan and Donnell are really glad that they met you and found you, because the enthusiasm you bring in your life and to other people bleed into that gym and bleed into their lives. Yeah. And so we really appreciate you, for being who you are and being such an inspiration to everyone around you. And thanks and kudos to your son. What's his name?
His name is Hezekiah.
Hezekiah.
Yeah.
Kudos to you, Hezekiah.
Coach Hez.
Coach Hez. Hey, thanks, Coach Hez, for inspiring your mom.
Shout out, Coach Hez.
Inspiring your mom to get out there and get back into fitness and get her life, back where, like you said, where she can be around and enjoy her children and grandchildren, and everyone else in her life. So thank you for that. And before we go, Tonya, I want you to, I know you mentioned your Instagram a while ago, but I want you to spell it out so people can easily find you, because I know it's got some underscores in it. So
oh my gosh, I knew you would ask me that. You're asking a 6-year-old woman who knows nothing about social media. Okay, I think it's Tonya, Tonya underscore B.
Just the letter B.
Just the letter B underscore your best. So YOURBEST.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I know. That's right. Now, I have Facebook and everything too. So there's a lot of people. If you will find it through that. But now listen, if that is wrong, which is maybe a chance that it is, because I knew you would ask me that. I meant to write it down. I just don't pay attention to stuff like that. But go to the Flow Fitness on Instagram, and I'm tagged in all of that because we're constantly posting things about our classes, our teachers, the students and stuff. So you will definitely find me through that. It's like a little treasure hunt trying to find where can we find her. Yeah, I know. It's just, I don't understand these things. I mean, to me, being on here and seeing you like this is just like incredible.
Yeah. But 30 years ago, this would have been like watching Star Trek, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. We did not have cell phones. Wrap your head around that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell people all the time, man, I go way back before cell phones and microwaves. I go way back.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, we probably were before microwaves, weren't we?
Oh, yeah, we were. Definitely.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't grow up in the microwave generation, but I'm definitely part of it now because we want everything right now, instant. We want it right now.
So. Instantly.
Well, I tell you what.
Thank you for what you do. I appreciate this. I appreciate your podcast. I love hearing the stories about people. I love what you do, and you are just phenomenal at it. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this.
Thank you. I appreciate those kudos, and it's my pleasure. And And Tonya, I just want to give you a chance to just say one final thing to all our listeners before we sign off.
Okay. All right. This isn't like my signature move because it's become just kind of a fun thing. But I want to see you at the flow, at the grid house. I want to see you moving. We're going to do this right here, bringing out the guns. Oh, yeah. That's it.
Oh, my goodness. All right. I can see why everybody says you're so much fun, Tonya.
Oh my gosh, thanks.
I appreciate you a lot.
I appreciate you too. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And to all the good neighbors of the greater Chattanooga region, after meeting Tonya and learning more about, what she does, not only at the Flow and the Grit House, but just in life in general, inspiring other people. I know that she hopes that, you'll take a moment to consider all that she has to offer, all they have to offer there at the Flow and the Grit House gym, and just start moving, start doing more for yourself. She said some people, when they say they don't have time, they really mean it. And I've been there before when I had to travel so much on my job, and I was just did not have the time and access to things that I needed to be able to take care of myself. But there are little subtle things that we can do. There are just small things that we can do. Get up and walk around, go walk around the block, walk to the mailbox, walk around the hotel, do something to get up and move. And then if you're close enough to Cleveland that you can go meet Tonya, go take one of her classes. The first one's free. And right now, I'm going to give a shout out for Nathan. Right now, during July, all the stretch classes are free. In July, they're all free right now. So go take a class, whether it's the stretch or whether it's one of the others. Work with her. If you need looking for a personal trainer and you prefer a female, hey, Tonya would be a good one. So reach out, just take her advice. Start changing small little things in our lives to get to that level where we want to be eventually, to start heading that direction. She's been a great inspiration today, just to hear her story, hear her tips and the things that she's told us. But she's a great inspiration in life too. If you don't believe me, follow her on Instagram and you'll see she's a great inspiration. So I tell you, and of course, before ending this episode, I'd like to thank you, all the listeners, for taking time out of your busy day to be with us here at the Good Neighbor Podcast. And as I always say, remember all the small businesses. Support the local small businesses in your neighborhoods, from Cleveland to Jasper, I got that backwards, from Cleveland to Dalton, from Jasper to Benton. We need all of our small businesses, and let's support them. Let's do all we can for them. This is Scott Howell again, and everyone go out and make this a remarkable day.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpcleveland.com. That's gnpcleveland.com, or call 423-380-1984.